Hey there, Paul from Patterson Valley Permaculture. Today I'm in the site of the new shade tunnel. This is going to be 4 metres by 18 metres long. I'm just going to do some soil tests today. It's really important to see if I need some additions to the soil to correct the pH. What we'll also do is we'll do, as well as the pH test and looking at the structure of the soil, I'll also do a jar test, which means adding water to the soil that I've taken the sample of, shaking the jar, and then doing a measurement of the sand, silt and clay content. So what I'll do, I'll go and get a sample, get it into the jars and start doing some of the tests. I'll get into it. Okay, I'll do one more test a bit further down. I'm using a soil sample tube. You just push this into the soil, give it a twist, put it out, and you get a nice long tube of soil. Okay, now that the soil sampling's done, I'll take it over to the bench and do a couple of pH tests. Okay, so I've got the Manutech soil pH test kit here. Quite simple to use. Okay, you get a sort of mixing stick, the guide, the important colour chart, the mixing plate, the indicator dye, and then the barium sulfate, which is like a powder you spray onto the sample. I'm going to break that sample up there. Crumble a bit onto the plate. A few drops of the dye indicator. Some of the barium, and mix it on the plate here. Okay, so you pretty much instantly get the colour of the soil for the pH. So I'll try and give you an idea of the colours here. Okay, so there's the colour we have there. So looking at the chart, it's in between 6.5 and 6, I feel. Yeah, it's pretty hard to judge that colour. It's not a light green like a 5, and it's not a dark grey like a 7.5. It's more in between. So yeah, that's a good sign. We get the other sample now. Again, put the dye indicator on. some of the barium powder and mix it up. Yeah, so you can see that this process isn't that difficult, and it really gives you an idea of what, you know, what's available to your plants on the pH chart. You know, anything around that 6.5, you know, there's a lot of nutrients, a lot of minerals available to your plants. The more acid and more alkaline it gets, the less it's available. Okay, so we just did a good mix there. Again, let's shake off that dirt. And again, I think that's about a 6.5. Again, it's pretty hard to get the colour. But yeah, it's an approximation, obviously. Okay, so with those results, I feel, you know, I don't need to add any additional lime. Obviously, I'll get an idea of what the soil profile's like when I add the water to the jars, which I'll show you a bit longer further on in this video. And I'll also get an idea of the organic matter that's actually available in that soil. It does float to the surface, and you sort of can do a bit of a percentage of a rough percentage of that. But I can see already from the sample, you know, there's not much organic material in that soil. It's a very nice crumbly soil, but I can't see that much organic. So that will be something I will be adding. Okay, so I'm just going to add some water to these jars. About halfway is fine. Okay, so what we do now, we just screw the lid on tightly, give it a good shake, make sure the whole mix is mixed in, and then we can just let that sit for 24 hours and get an idea of our soil profile. I'll put a little drawing in the video and the soil pyramid where you can actually see what type of soil you have with the percentage of sand, silt and clay in your soil. Okay, so the soil tests are in. Been standing a little over 24 hours, and now we've got the different layers of sand at the bottom there, middle layer of silt and the top layer of clay. Really gives you a good overview of the structure of your soil. To get the percentage, just measure from the top of the clay down to the bottom of the jar, and then once you measure that, you can get a percentage. So say for instance the sand here is this is 3 mil, and the height of all this is 10, so you divide the 3 mil by 10 and then times that by 100 to get the percentage. Do that for 2 of those elements and you can use the pyramid for the soil texture. This one's come out as loam, which is perfect. quite a lot of sand and silt, and about 10% of clay. And on top you can see the organic matter floating. You can kind of get a percentage of the organic matter in your soil as well. This one I've got down the same sort of distance as the clay, so it's about 2%, 2 to 5% I would say. Great, thanks.